Sticks. It's all good.
We here on this beautiful day, and obviously there's a lot of controversy, conspiracy. There's a lot of facts, but there's also a lot of fiction in regards to COVID-19. A lot of my peers are still very uninformed about what COVID-19 really is, but more importantly, we understand that it's time to roll out some vaccination. We've heard about Moderna, we've heard about Pfizer. There's a few different ones that are out there now, and I think inquiring minds want to know is what they say. People in what we call the hood are very apprehensive and resistant to getting vaccinated. More importantly, what we have experienced is, unfortunately, a lot of family members have passed away. So this COVID-19 thing is it's a real thing. But I think, what I wanted to do is for us to have a good conversation like we always do. It's nothing new. But I want to approach this thing with questions that, from conversations that I've had with peers about what COVID-19 is, and then more importantly, should we or should we not be vaccinated, right?
Right.
So, to start off everything, I've had a couple of conversations. I went on social media. I asked a few people online, and the first thing everybody really want to know is, we think we know COVID-19, but what is COVID-19? And when I ask that question, I mean, we've heard that it's a bunch of strands mixed in one. The strands can change your DNA or whatever. So let's start with the first question. Tell us exactly what COVID-19 is.
All right. So first of all, it's good talking with you.
Absolutely.
I have to say, and I enjoy talking with you.
Appreciate it.
So COVID-19 is an infection with a virus. So it's a viral infection. We've all heard of viral infections. Influenza, flu is a viral infection. Your common cold is a viral infection. There are many others. Hepatitis B is a viral infection. It turns out that COVID-19 is infection with a virus called SARS-CoV-2. So it's a particular virus, and each virus kind of affects you differently. So like I said, hepatitis is a virus that goes for the liver. This particular virus goes for the respiratory tract. It gets in through your nose, your mouth, your eyes, and it goes down and causes this damage primarily in the lungs. All right. So it is a viral infection. It's called a novel virus because it causes more illness. It's more severe. When you think of common cold, you get cough, runny nose, maybe a little fever, you're down for a couple of days. This virus invades your system, gets in town to your lungs. It causes a reaction in your lungs that can make your lungs not function. So ultimately, if your lungs don't function, you don't get air or oxygen and you can die. So it's really important. I like the fact that you start with that concept because people talk about vaccines. It's like, well, what are we getting vaccinated against? Okay, if there was no need to get vaccinated, then we wouldn't be talking about it. SARS-CoV-2, COVID-19 is hitting black people hard. We're dying at 2 to 3 times the rate of other people. We're hospitalized 2 to 3 times the rate of other people. And primarily it seems to be because the virus likes an unhealthy host. That's one of the reasons. So we have underlying conditions. I know you've heard of the diabetes and the hypertension, the obesity and all these things. So when you get infected, it's like, oh, we can get into this person's system because they're already kind of sick. So that's why it's really, really important that our community understands clearly that this is a serious infection. So it is real.
Okay. Understood. So there's been a lot of social media videos rolling around, showing that 5G is responsible for the COVID-19, or this thing started in Wuhan, and those individuals were the ones where it came from, and whatever it is. I want to know from your knowledge, where did COVID-19 come from?
Right. So the World Health Organization (WHO) recently journeyed to Wuhan, China, and from their evaluation, they do feel strongly that it came from Wuhan. The virus infects animals. Sometimes these animal viruses jump to humans. Most of the time they don't. If something infects dogs or cats or monkeys, it generally will not go to a human. It just doesn't work that way. The same with human infection. That's why your dog doesn't get a cold, okay? You cough on your dog, it's not going to get a cold. So the virus did come from Wuhan. We don't know exactly how it all happened, but we do think it leapt from bats to humans. And then it just spread from there. There is no link between 5G and COVID-19 infection. I think these are things that are out there just kind of to distract us. I'm not exactly sure where those things come from. We are in a time of conspiracies. I mean, it's this QAnon thing is a conspiracy. There are all kinds of conspiracies out there. But I think we as people need to be very clear about what the facts are. Because if we're not, we're the ones dying 2-3 times the rate of other people. So if we think it's 5G and we don't take care of our own business, then we'll keep dying. So we have to be very clear. And you will find no prominent black association or organization that will tell you that it is 5G. And we, like I'm with the NMA past president, we have skin in the game. These are our doctors, these are our people. Black doctors are dying at a higher rate. So no, it is not 5G. It's from Wuhan. It's a virus that kills.
Absolutely, appreciate that. Yep. So, is it a possibility that this strand or COVID-19 could be man-made?
It's probably possible, but unlikely. And importantly, doesn't matter. This is one thing I've been thinking about. The past president was saying it was the quote-unquote China virus. So what? Let's say China really wanted to infect the United States and do biological warfare, okay? You still got to stop it.
Right.
If it was man-made, which I do not believe. I don't believe it was. I guess it probably is theoretically possible, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
Let's say it was. I found a man. I got him red-handed, got a picture of him.
We passed that point where, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So we still got to fight the virus.
I think what it is, Doc, is the reason why it leads to other perspective or potential conspiracies that someone is out here to try to kill us.
Okay.
And I think that's where that comes from. Like, to be perfectly honest, a large piece of me feels like it is man-made. And I feel like us, and when I say us, I mean African Americans, to be politically correct, are being affected by this at higher rates, as we stated, than any other background, culture, ethnicity, etc. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm not just saying something. So it almost seems like this is another attempt to eradicate our existence.
Right.
So what is your say?
No, I don't think so, because first of all, to do that, I mean, we have traced it back to China. I mean, if I were literally thinking that way, why would the Chinese want to get rid of black people? I mean, so first, it doesn't really make good sense. We do feel pretty strongly that it did come out of Wuhan. Number two, I mean, we're dying, let's say, at higher rates, but the overall number of people dead, there are more white people dead than black people. Because we may die twice the rate or 3 times the rate of white folks, but we're only 12% of the population in America. America's probably about 45-50% white, somewhere around there, 50%. So even if we're dying more, the raw numbers show more white people are dead. And the same is true in European countries. So no. I have no thought that this was done as it relates to some concept of genocide. Not at all.
Right. So, other interesting information that exists out here that we've actually seen with our eyes is there are conversations that happen with WHO, CDC, but involved in these conversations sometimes are individuals like a Bill Gates. For a person to not be a doctor or have any experience with or any kind of medical background, why is his role in this so important, and why should we even listen to what he has to say when he's not a doctor? Because my opinion is, you can't even fix viruses on a computer. How you gonna fix me if I get sick with COVID? You know. So what's your take on it?
I like that. I think that Bill Gates, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, first of all, has been working to eradicate malaria in I guess Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, and they've been having a worldview on infections and overall health for a decade, I'd say. He's fabulously wealthy. So if you have wealthy people working with you, that moves things. For me, I will hear what he has to say, but if I have the scientific background, then I'll believe what I know to be true. And if he says something that's not true, it's not true. But you don't have to listen to Bill Gates and Melinda Gates. You don't have to. You can ignore him. I'm not really thinking about what Bill Gates is saying, quite frankly. But it would concern me if he were spreading misinformation.
Correct.
But generally speaking, what I've heard him speak to has been generally accurate. And I think the bottom line for me is to get us past COVID. I think his efforts are moving us to get past COVID.